Hi friends! Today we're diving into my Pat McGrath Labs haul. But first, if it's your first time here, hi, I'm Alicia. Thank you so much for clicking on my video. And if you are returning, well, thank you for visiting me again. Kinkysweat stands for my kinky hair and sweat life. I am a fitness professional who loves things all movement and beauty. If you want to check out what I do in between the makeups, you can head over to my Instagram. I had mentioned in my Sephora sales event video that if you were looking to purchase anything Pat McGrath, that you should really go through her site. Now I know we've all been through the trauma of Pat McGrath Labs during really big releases, delayed shipping, and all that stuff. I have not heard any horror stories for this recent sale. The point is, purchases over $150 are issued 30%, and I am on Pat's PR list, so grateful for that. But I had a couple of things to re-up on, and also, I was curious, how Subversive, now this is from when Pat McGrath first dropped her original eyeshadow palettes, what a newer Subversive will look like. This is the one that came in the package, and this is the one that I have had for years. I just wanted to see, you know, I'm sure the consistency is there, but I got a little panicked because when Subversive did not come back in stock for quite some time, I was like, did I need a backup? Like, what's going on? So I bought another Subversive. I also purchased more concealers because the concealers that I have are well over their due date. I had originally purchased 4 shades, but this time around I purchased 2 new shades, and I wanted just to give you a few swatches. Yes, with the older ones, they haven't broken me out, they don't smell bad. You know, I don't like getting rid of makeup when I have not finished it, so I'm trying to get away with as much as I can. I also purchased 2 more Dark Star mascaras. I love this mascara for my top lashes, and I've actually experimented with the original Fetish eyes. Now, I had said in my original video that I thought this was okay. I was not blown away by it. At the time, I was combining it with the Too Faced Better Than Sex waterproof. I don't use the Too Faced anymore, so I am curious to see how this combines with the Dark Star. But immediately upon applying this mascara, I smelled it, and I'm like, wow, this has a strong scent. Why on earth? I also ordered the Permagel Ultra Glide Eye Pencil in shade. I saw Pat, or one of her makeup artists rather, use shade to build an eye look, and I'm like, I need that. Picked up her new addition to the Skin Fetish Sublime Perfection Blurring Under Eye Powder in the shade yellow. This actually is a lot more beige yellow than it looks on site or on the photographs on site, but I had to get in there because I thought that was really pretty. We'll go over the concealers, but I also picked up another Divine Rose highlighter. This Divine Rose highlighter is exceptional. I know some people were underwhelmed by it. Some said with deeper skin tones that they picked up more gold than pink, but it is remarkably subtle, but has such beautiful shine and leaves behind a glass skin like effect that has such extraordinary radiance, but the texture smooth, so smooth. I picked up 3 concealers. The first new shade is LM12, like you can see that, excuse me. This has a more peachy undertone. I decided to go with that because I wanted a little more correcting. I also picked up M15 because I had from, oh my god, like 2 years ago, I had M16, which was a little warm as I relied on this shade for all over if I did not want to apply the Skin Fetish Sublime Perfection foundation. But I did pick up another LM14 because LM14 is actually my foundation shade, but I wanted another one in this color because I thought it would be appropriate to apply on the center of my face and maybe the M15 on the outer perimeters. I did not pick up a contour shade this time around, as last time I used MD22, but I didn't really use it that much often. I love the concept of relying on a concealer to give you sculpt and bronze, but it was an impractical purchase on my part. I definitely was excited about the concealer launch and I just wanted as many shades as possible. But today I wanted to show you swatches. If you were thinking about Pat McGrath, foundation, concealers, and you're around my skin tone, hopefully this video will help kind of pinpoint what your shade match is. Maybe. So let's start with the Skin Fetish foundation. I have both medium 16 and LM14. LM14 is like my shade, my for real shade. When I'm not tan, when I have not applied any self tanner, you know, keeping it just like this. So this is, I think, my true shade match in Pat McGrath. And I can quickly go on the website to give you what the actual undertone description is. Light medium with neutral olive undertones. I can definitely pick up a little bit of olive. I'm traumatized by the word olive because when I did olive undertone in the Fenty, I'll never forget it. I did a second glance at the mirror and I'm like, do I look green? I totally look green. So anything olive, I'm like, ooh, I don't know. But this, you know, this worked out. Medium 16, definitely a little warmer, right? So that works out a little bit better, surprisingly, than medium 15. Medium 15, I think, was a little too yellow. And to give you this shade description, let me make sure I got the right number. I know I just said it, but my brain. Medium with peach undertones. So I thought this was really appropriate not only to wear on its own, but hypothetically to mix with LM14. As for the concealers, let's look at the new shade I picked up, and I'll pull up the concealers here. LM12 is light medium with peach undertones. You can definitely detect that peach from the get-go, and I applied this not only in my Hindash video in preparation to try his palette, but I also applied it when I did the KVD demo on my Sephora haul video. I really like this. It corrects a little bit just because of its very prominent peach undertone, but it does give a little brightness. Swatching my old LM13 light medium with yellow neutral undertones. I decided to do LM12, and it's funny, even though it's the higher number, it looks lighter. The reason why I decided to go with LM12 was because I thought the yellow, did it say yellow neutral? Yes. The yellow neutral was not color correcting for me enough. Although now I'm thinking I could maybe apply this on top of the LM12, but I think that's a little too much because this formula is meant to just use very sparingly. It has very high color payoff, high coverage, looks beautiful under the eyes, does not look dry, but I wouldn't go willy-nilly in applying like 3 concealers at once under your eyes, okay? LM14, which is again my actual foundation shade, light medium with neutral olive undertones, right next to LM13. So again, we got LM12, LM13, LM14. You can definitely see there's more olive in LM14, and this is the foundation, and I think a pretty good match, although the foundation looks like it has a little more peach in there, whereas the concealer, I think, looks to have a little more of like a true olive undertone. Crazy how LM12 looks to be the deepest out of the 3, but it's not. It's just strongly peach. Getting into the M's now, I have M16, my older shade, in the concealer. This is medium with peach undertones. Here we go. Oh yeah, definitely peachy. And now I ordered M15. Here, see here. Don't even try to open this with your nails, Alicia. You know better. M15 medium with golden neutral undertones. That definitely sounds more aligned with my color profile. Huh. Yeah, for sure. I feel this is better suited to be applied on bigger portions of my face than the M16, don't you think? I did MD22 before as like my sculpt bronzing shade. I could pick up the shade description quickly. I believe this was medium dark with a neutral undertone. Medium deep with neutral red undertones. I could pick up that red for sure. So these are pretty much my Pat McGrath Skin Fetish shades. Again, LM14, M16 in the foundation. Now we have LM12, LM13, LM14, M16, M15, MD22. It's tough, you know, especially when you can't go in store, you can't match, and even if you did, given with the safety precautions we're taking, sometimes the lighting sucks. Maybe all the time. And to try and shade match in non-optimal lighting, anytime I'm in the Sephora, I try to stand in front of a window with nice natural light and take maybe a photo of myself, because under the store lights, it's just no. It's just no. Now for the pouches, I picked up yellow. Yellow, I thought was going to be actually more golden, but it seems that it's a little more beige. If I were to put this up against, let's see here, let's do light. Yes, this is light. This is what I usually use for my under eye. It doesn't look too white cast under my eyes. It blends really nicely where it doesn't look obviously too bright. Here is medium, which takes on more of a neutral undertone and what I would use all over the face. And then we have deep, which I dropped and it cracked, so I just have like this much left in the pan. But I did use deep for like a very light type of a bronzing moment. If I didn't want to rely on bronzer and I just needed some very light sculpting, I would use that. So again, here's yellow, here's light, here's medium, here's deep. I actually really like the yellow one. I'm happy I picked that up. It definitely looks more saturated online. I thought it would be too yellow because I have to be careful. If it's too of a honey yellow, it could just make my under eyes look yellow and not have any type of brightening effect whatsoever. Ooh, let's open the new Subversive. It's like the first time. Look at this beautiful arrangement. Oh, it's, you know what? I'm feeling guilty about where I ranked this in my ranking Pat McGrath video. I am dying to swatch this and just see how different it feels, maybe, from the old one. This is the old one. It has been well loved and used. Now that we swatched the complexion stuff, why don't you come in a little closer? That's enough. All right, we are going in with M. Well, do I want to do that first? Yes, I do. Let's do the LM14 foundation on the center of my face first. I'm taking a little bit on the back of my hand and just concentrating it on the center of my face, because then I'll rely on the M15 on the outer perimeters. I really do love the Skin Fetish foundation. I know it's hit or miss with some people. They weren't crazy about it. I just enjoy its lightweight texture, and I think that's why the Skin Fetish concealer is significantly more creamy and delivers more coverage, because you have just like that lightweight texture from the foundation. If you need more coverage, you'll layer, you'll build with intent so that the complexion does not appear heavy, and it definitely aligns with Pat's style of makeup, especially in regards to complexion. When you see her runway work, I mean, these models' skin looks virtually filtered. And while I understand Pat is a lover of filters when it comes to her Instagram page, I think some of that is due to this fabulous foundation. So here we have LM14, now M16 on the outer parts of the face. I'm taking my same Koyudo brush, and here you can see the difference where the LM14 is definitely a little more, what was the shade description again? Like something about neutral, I forgot. But this is what I've been doing, not only with the Pat McGrath, but with the KVD and the Fenty Beauty Eavesdrop. I'm now a fan of applying two shades, because was talking about this with Courtney. Hey, Courtney! That we're not all one shade. As much as brands love to provide as many shades, undertone, combinations as possible, and I appreciate that, we are never one shade. We have a little more neutral, a little more pink, peach, golden, olives, a little bit of all of those. So to slap on just one color, it just never appears natural. And I get it, we're applying foundation. What are you talking about natural? I think if you combine several shades, maybe just 2, I'm not talking about 5. You know, I know we could get crazy, but I understand we're on a time, we have lives. At least 2, I think, will give you a more realistic presentation of your complexion when you are applying foundation. And 15 on the blemishes. Around the nose. I'm leaving the under eyes for a moment because we're going in with the LM12. And now let's see what the M15 does. I think that's a much better match for me than the M16. I think the M16 was just a little too warm and appeared that it sat on my skin and wasn't really camouflaging the way that I had wanted it to. And the fact that I'm using M16 for my foundation shade, went a little happy that I went with the M15 for sure. Here's my old LM14, placing that on the greater under eye area, not necessarily right under the lash line, because sometimes if you undergo extreme redness here and you need a little more coverage, oh yeah, we are covered now. So LM14, much like the foundation, I think more appropriate for the center of my face. And realistically, I could just rely on the concealer to take care of my complexion needs. But now let's go in with LM12 right under, but very, I'm talking like that. Taking past concealer brush. I ordered her foundation brush, checked out with it, and then I was issued a refund, and I guess it sold out while I was ordering. I'm bummed. I'm using very little product because this packs a punch. I really do. I'm really happy with LM12, although it looked like it was going to do a lot. I think when you use it sparingly and blend it out well, it's going to leave behind the right amount of coverage and provide a little bit of correcting also. All right, this is how the skin is looking. I'm very happy with the shades that I chose, so yay. I probably will finish my LM14. I know it's old, but I don't want to open this one yet. I think I'm going to hold or keep that on standby. Let's take a look at the yellow powder. Here we go, one of my most favorite under eye setting powders ever. It's so airy and lightweight, undetectable. I think ideal for those who do not use under eye powder because upon application, the dryness is immediate. You can just see it go, and it's very hard to find a product or a powder that's going to set your concealer but not leave you looking like the Mojave Desert. But I think that's a lovely color. If you want to see the light, I probably will use them interchangeably. Yeah, so I'll take a little bit and just place it more on the greater or more on the immediate under eye area. Despite the fact that we applied 2 pressed powders, I don't think it looked too dry at all. Medium now all over the face. And for this, I'll just lightly buff because that just works the powder nicely into the skin so it does not just sit on there. Ooh, I can't wait until Pat comes out with brow products. I can't wait until Pat not only will come out with brow products, but with the cheek products. I don't know if she's into blush for sure, most definitely deep. I don't know if she's into bronzer like that though. I feel like if that's in her portfolio of the iconic looks that she's done, if she usually just relies on concealer to create that bronzer effect and not necessarily powder. But I would just die. Using my already opened Divine Rose highlighter. Listen, I don't only use this as a highlighter. I use this as like highlighter, cheek topper. I mean, and you're gonna see a little bit of my texture here because I applied a lot of concealer on that part of my face, and that's something you have to proceed with caution with. I think, again, as I mentioned before, the concealer needs to be used with the light hand. It's not one to just glob on, and once you figure that out, then you can find the right lay down for it. Otherwise, I would highly recommend that you spritz your face first just to get a little more smooth or help the product work into the skin better if you happen to use too much, or you could use a damp sponge to take away some product. I use a brush, and although a natural hairbrush, it's not going to take away product the same way a brush will. So that's just something to consider if you were weary of the concealer formula, you didn't know if it was going to be too heavy for you or whatnot. Going in with the Charlotte Tilbury Brow Cheat in Natural Brown, which is growing on me. My beloved Goof Proof in 3.5 and Precisely Now in 3.5 are like it. But that's not bad. Will not go in with primer as I want to use shade. In true Pat McGrath artistry fashion, a lot of her artists rely on the Permagel pencils to set up their base. You have to make sure, however, you work fairly quickly because this does dry down and it does not budge. But it's so creamy upon application. I mean, unbelievable. Refer 26 to smoke shade out. Ooh, this is like the perfect taupe. Going on the other side. I don't actually know what I'm going to do with this. I'm just kind of playing. I kind of don't want to dip into my new Subversive, but that's why I bought it. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's why I bought it. Again, you got to move in quickly. Like, I spent too much time looking for my brush, and it already began to dry down. Let's do this again. Let's better build this side up. I also have Black Coffee, which is another iconic shade from the Permagel eyeliner lineup. If you want to get some intensity from a brown shade, you'll go in with Black Coffee first. All right, we did it. I don't know what we're gonna do from here. Oh, this is so... Lazarus is a classic bronze shade. I could also go in with Night Creature on top of the Permagel. Okay, I'm going in. Oh, I'm going in. Man, it's like the first time. I'm telling you. This is exquisite. Refer 28, definitely going in with Night Creature over shade. I am so happy right now. Alicia, does that mean you're going to change your ranking? I don't know, fam. It was between, I think in the end, I made it so that it was number 3, Decadence. Number 2 was Divine Rose 2. And of course, number 1, Midnight Sun. And I ranked this number 4 because I was going back and forth in my head between Decadence and Subversive. And the reason why I went number 4 with Subversive is because I thought Decadence was a little more user-friendly, and the fact that it didn't have like these shades, but shades like Night Creature and Gigabyte I think are just so iconic for Pat McGrath. Now we could do another shade technically on this wing. You know we gotta go in with Gigabyte. Ooh, this is more of the gelée finish, whereas Night Creature is more of that much tighter metallic, not like what exists in Decadence. Very different from Decadence. It's that same texture that many were asking about to compare between the Dark Star kit that recently dropped, between that and Blitz Blue. Blitz Blue is more this consistency, and the Dark Star single is more of the Night Creature consistency. And I'm not even wetting this either, fam. Like, can you imagine using my reference number 3 back in with Night Creature, but just refining this wing here, putting down more product. There we go. There we go. Same thing with Gigabyte. Tighter in towards the inner corner. Okay. But now, what can we do on the crease? I'm thinking, well, first of all, let me drop in some, let's see, Skin Show Fever on the brow bone. Yes. The reason why I picked this Mothership up first was because of this shade. I thought it was the most universal in terms of the highlights, because the one found in Subliminal leaned very cool. The one in Sublime leaned a little more pink. This was the truest type of champagne shade out of the first 3 Mothership palettes. And I think it also acts wonderfully as a cheekbone highlight. I mean, my gosh. Perfect. Perfect! VR Pink. Are you kidding me? Oh, that has like a beautiful shift. And then there's Astral Ghost Orchid, which has more of like a transparent flip. It's more like a veil. You know, I'm thinking of doing a little bit of this, but right on the cheeks. Remember, all of Pat's Mothership palettes are artistry ones. You can use these shades not only on your eyes, but on your face. And to have this effect on the cheeks, I mean, the shine is unreal. Unreal. I know I'm crazy for this. I want to go in with Lazarus. Lazarus is beautifully smooth. This is more of this is definitely more of the consistency found in Decadence, although I think the ones in Decadence have a little more shine. I'm taking this just through the crease on both eyes, and I'm following through with the wing and just pulling it out here. So create that double line, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna do the same on this side. And this is a Hakuhoro J146. Then I'm going to take Lazarus here on the lower lash line, just creating a little more smoke, pulling it out a little bit here also. And then with Blitz Amethyst, ooh, I'm running out of space, hold on. I'm just gonna do it right here. That definitely is a duochrome. Reference number 3, but on the inner part of the lower lash line. So pretty, love it. Go wild. You want to keep it tight to the lash line or bring it a little more down. Also, keep in mind, these can be used as toppers. So, for instance, we can go in with Astral Ghost Orchid and tap that on top of Night Creature, and it's just going to make it come more forward, make it appear more sparkly and vibrant. We could also take Skin Show Fever on the inner corner, but then we could take our VR Pink and layer right over Skin Show Fever. So if we wanted a stronger pink effect, we could definitely make that happen. This just turned into something which I don't really know, but I really love. Just smoothing out Lazarus here. Don't mind me. I, of course, have to go in with one of Pat's Liquid Lust. Hold on, let me grab one. Wild Orchid will be a good one. I know it's a very strong look. That or Spellbound. I think let's go Wild Orchid. Why not? I'm going to pop open a new Dark Star because I actually think it's time for me to use a new tube of mascara. Let's go in with Fetish Eyes Foist, because I don't think I actually layered Dark Star over Fetish Eyes. The smell is so strong. I'm like, why? And Dark Star doesn't smell like anything. I gotta make sure I put my current Dark Star over to the side so I don't get confused. Here's opening a new Dark Star, which typically, from watching a few comparison videos, because at the time when I received this, I did not have fetish eyes. You just get bigger, bolder lashes faster with Dark Star. And fetish eyes, I feel, is just more of like, it's like Dark Star but light. I would definitely recommend lashes with this type of a look, but I don't actually feel like putting them on. I want to showcase the mascara, you know what I'm saying? That's not bad. And now fetish eyes on the bottom lashes. Here's the finished look using my mini Pat McGrath Haul. I'm so happy that I repurchased Subversive. I know I didn't have to. I know that was a very indulging purchase to make. I was just curious to see, you know, if it still holds true. Subversive, when it first came out, still has the enchantment, just the dazzle that it did when it first released, and man, does it. And now I'm going back and forth between that and Decadence. I think Decadence is the way it is because it has the metallic formula, but it has just that beautiful shine. Whereas this, you know, maybe for one that's not totally comfortable with Pat's Mothership eyeshadow palettes yet, maybe more of a learning curve, maybe you just need to take more risks with this curation, but I think the colors themselves present that inspiration. You can do Night Creature all by itself on the eyes. You don't even have to worry about any other color, okay? I would say though, and this is my old one, you will have to go in with this matte if you wanted to blend out the edges of Night Creature, and probably that is the con about this palette. It doesn't have a medium matte shade. You're going straight from this dark brown to the black matte, and that's it. If you wanted something in between, I think you will have to then rely on her pencils, her Permagel pencils, which you can actually use as shadow. As you saw, we built up the wing on the lash line, and then I applied eyeshadow on top so it could have more impact, more adherence. Or you could do shade on the crease and then blend it out, so that could be the transition shade for any of the impactful colors in here, whether it be Blitz Amethyst, whether it be Night Creature, or even Gigabyte. So know that the Pat McGrath Labs line, in my eyes, is formulated for you to have a little bit of fun and creativity, that all the colors are there for a reason and they just blend and combine gorgeously. Like, there's no bad combination. Okay, I think that's why I love to use Mothership palettes, because upon opening them, the possibilities are endless. And of course, with the complexion products, I'm really happy that I chose the new shades that I did. I heavily enjoy LM12 under my eyes. I don't use as much as I used to, which I think is key. So if you're around my shade and you were wondering if LM12 is going to be too peachy, I think you will be okay. Although if you're lighter than me, you might have to go to the peachy undertone that's in the light category and not necessarily the light medium category. And for all over your face, I would recommend M15. I think that's a better shade match than M16. And LM14 you can definitely get away with applying all over your face for the concealer. Although I think you have to work it in. So I feel either you go in with the foundation or the concealer, if you're doing both, to not apply as much as I did under the eyes, but to maybe work it on the back of your hand first to warm up the product, and then go in and blend it on your skin on the portions that need a little more coverage. I hope this haul was fun, but I hope it actually helped too, because as much as I love to share what I bought, I also want to provide some insight in case you had some things on your wish list. If you were wondering what to get, what shade match to get in the category of Pat McGrath Lab. Otherwise, if you're just here to hang out, well, thank you so much for staying. Let me know if you picked up anything from Pat's sale, if you skipped, what have you. I will see you down in the comments, fam, and until then, that is a wrap. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope this video helped. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and maybe consider subscribing to my channel. And until then, I will see you in here again with another review tutorial, Pat McGrath Extravaganza, monthly favorite, or brunch time chit chat. Take care, and I will see you again soon.